Welcome to Sleeping with Sarah. I'm Sarah Albritton, and this is a podcast where I get people into my bed and we talk about sleep, comedy, and relationships. This is my 47th episode, and I interviewed comedian and actor Calvin Evans. We had a blast talking about everything from cars to sports to philosophy of comedy and talking about monogamy. Calvin learns what a throuple is. We get into it. You can catch Calvin at Laugh Factory Chicago this Sunday, February 5th for the roast of Kanye West. You can also follow Calvin on Twitter at Calvin M. Evans and check out his website, calvinevanscomedy.com. I will also be at Secrets, Lies, and Alibis on Tuesday, February 7th at 8:30. This podcast is brought to you by audible.com. Go to audibletrial.com/sleepingwithsarah to get a free audiobook of your choice. This week, I'd like to recommend Tina Fey's Bossy Pants. Again, that's audibletrial.com/sleepingwithsarah. This podcast is proud to be part of the Laugh Factory Podcast Network. If you like the podcast, please remember to rate and review on iTunes and iHeartRadio. Go to the website, sleepingwithsarah.com, and follow me on Twitter at Sarah Albritton. Well, let's get started with the show.
Sleeping with Sarah.
Welcome to Sleeping with Sarah. I'm Sarah Albritton, and I'm here with my guest, Calvin Evans.
Hey.
Hey, how'd you sleep last night, Calvin?
I slept very heavy. I ate before I fell asleep, and I got home late, ate, and I just passed out.
Yeah?
It was just a late night. It was a long day, and the food just was like, it's time to go to sleep.
What time did you go to bed?
I think it was maybe 11, maybe close to 12.
Oh, that's early, I feel like.
It's early, but I had been up all day.
Yeah.
Running around, went to the gym, had 2 shows, I fixed the car, changed the battery in the car.
Oh, you do that yourself?
Yeah. It's pretty simple.
I know nothing about cars, so like that little thing, I'm like, oh, if someone changes their own oil, I'm like, wow.
I mean, I feel like battery, tire, and pump gas, that's something everybody should be able to do.
I can do the tire.
Okay.
But it's been a long time since I've had to, so.
If you don't have to, you don't.
Do you usually sleep pretty heavy?
I stay up pretty late, so like I typically go to sleep like around 1 or maybe sometimes 2 o'clock, depending on the day. Mm-hmm. And then I'm back up at 8. So I wouldn't say I'm a heavy sleeper, but I think it also depends on the day.
Yeah. That makes sense. Any weird sleep stuff?
Weird? Like what?
Like do you sleepwalk or have crazy dreams or insomnia or anything?
No, I think... No, definitely no sleepwalking. No insomnia. Why can I say insomnia? Mm-hmm. But I do like if it's something important that I need to do, or something like I won't like I'll think about it and I can't sleep.
Oh. So
like if I got, okay, like for instance, if I have an audition. I ain't gonna say audition, but if I got something important or something that I really want to do, like right now, it's hard for me to sleep because I'm thinking I'm buying another car, and I'm like constantly thinking about what I need to get done, as far as like getting things fixed on the car, things I'm going to fix on the car. So like I get really like excited and anxious, so I can't. I'll dream about the car. I'll dream about, and it's just like, all right, I gotta get up. So I can't sleep when I'm.
So you go to sleep, but your dreams are just all about the thing you were worrying about. So you just wake up anyways.
Yeah. So I get up early, and I kind of obsess about things. So once I set my mind on doing something, I can't. It's hard for me to sleep.
Oh, gotcha. It's like your mind wants you to think about that 24/7, and you're constantly thinking about that.
Yeah.
What kind of car are you getting?
I'm buying I'm buying my stepfather's car. I had it for a while. And I kind of fucked it up, and then I was like, "Oh, you got your car back now." And then, so it's been sitting up for a long time, but now I had the money to take care of it, so I'm buying it from.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be good. Do you have a car now?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a car. This is a truck. So just
something different.
Something different, and I mean, I was in a space earlier this year, which is like I need a new car, and nothing was too much wrong with my car, and then. The transmission messed up, so I had to get that fixed, and I started fixing a bunch of stuff on it, and it's like a brand new car now. So I'm like, I can fix cars. So
wow, that's a good skill to have. I don't know how to do any of that. So
YouTube and confidence. That's all you need.
YouTube and confidence. I think that's an answer for almost anything.
YouTube. If you believe you can do it, all you gotta do, like YouTube, like a lot of times when it comes to anything is building something or making something. You like I made a projector screen. I watched the YouTube video. I was like, I can do that.
Oh,
and I went and did it.
I read an article about how a woman and her kids they built a house based on YouTube videos.
Wow.
Like the whole house. I mean, it took them like years, but they did it. You know.
Yeah, you got a house now.
Yeah. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, we're just gonna do this as a family project.
And now we got a new house. Yeah.
It's nice too. I mean, I don't know how it is structurally sound, but it looks nice.
But I mean, even still, if you have the time and the income, like just the extra income, like let's build a house on the weekends.
Yeah. Some families like to do puzzles together. Some families build houses.
Right. That's cool.
What about you? Where's your family at? Are they in Chicago?
Yeah. So I grew up in Logan Square. My mother still has an apartment there, but she has a house. And
like before Logan Square was like trendy.
Yeah, before it was trendy, it was just low income families, predominantly Hispanic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's where I was at. So I'm a north sider, and then most of my family's from the west side of Chicago, but now most of them live on the south side, and still got some family on the west side.
Yeah.
And I live on the north side, so
nice.
I have an apartment in Logan Square across the street from where I grew up.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. You
can still be nearby where you grew up. How much has it changed though? Like, cause it's changed. Is there?
It's a 100% change.
Like, is there anything that was the same?
The street names stayed the same, and the McDonald's is still the same. They even upgraded the McDonald's.
Damn!
But the street signs, I think they pretty much the same. Everything else is changed.
Everything?
No, I'm just joking. But I think. Because when I went to college and I came back, a lot of people that I grew up with, they kind of like moved away, or I just kind of fell out of contact with them. But yeah, it's so different. It's so different. It's just it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I say I grew up in Logan Square, in 2000, it was like oh okay, it's kind of a bad neighborhood. And when you say bad is relative to where you
were used to.
What you're used to. So for me, it was just normal, you know. It was like gangs, gang stuff, but it wasn't a terrible neighborhood. It's just like I said, it was just a low income neighborhood. And I came back from college in 2010. It was just like, what is this? People walking dogs. It's coffee shops, bookstores, it's a brewery. So like all down Milwaukee where they got all those like bars and like what's the place with the video games?
Oh yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, I can't think of it.
Is it beer? Not.
Oh, well, there's Logan Arcade or Logan.
It's right next to Kohl's.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Emporium.
Emporium. So all that stuff, it just wasn't there. Like going down Milwaukee, none of that stuff was there. So it's just like a whole new just economic boom just going on, where it's just like people want to move in Logan Square, and the cost of living is just skyrocketed.
Yeah, I know some people that have had issues with like their rent going like way up and like having to like move out and stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's good. It's good to see that a neighborhood change, but I don't like the idea that the things that was unique about the neighborhood, the restaurants, the people, the culture that was with the neighborhood is kind of being pushed out.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad.
Yeah. I mean, what can you do about it?
But you still live there, so that's not. It can't be that bad.
I have to keep I have to maintain the integrity of the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's all on you. It's all on your shoulders.
It's all on my shoulders. So every once in a while, you know, I go outside, shoot my gun in the air, probably break into a car, you know, start a fight, just to keep things, you know, even keeled. Like
make some fireworks happen, you know.
All that loud music, just to keep it authentic to what it once was.
Yeah. An homage to the past.
Right.
That's funny. So, when did you get into comedy? Was it in college or was it before?
College, yeah. I started. It was my junior year of college. I was on the verge of getting kicked out of school, and a friend of mine said, "Hey man, you kind of funny. You wanna do like some comedy in this variety show that I'm putting on?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do. I'll tell some jokes."
And you never done comedy before? Never
did comedy before. He was just. I think he was like just looking for like space fillers in this variety show that he was putting on, and he was just like, "Hey, yeah." It was just like I don't think he necessarily believed in me being a comedian. I think it was just more like, "Hey, you funny, right? Like, like just give me like 3 minutes. I just need to fill 3 minutes. So I like wrote some jokes down, and I went up there, told them, and it felt good. It felt natural. It's like, man, I can see myself doing this. So then after that, I just kind of started hosting shows and stuff on campus, and that was it.
And where was this?
University of Illinois, Champaign, Urbana.
Gotcha. Champaign. Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
You used to have comedians that you looked up to as well, like, or...
At the time, I grew up watching, Eddie Murphy and watched Def Comedy Jam and Comic View. I watched a lot of comedy, and I enjoyed it a lot, but I never saw myself being a comedian. So, it was like, but I was always comfortable talking in front of people. Mm-hmm. So, it was a natural transition from like just. I'm saying transition, like I went from a regular person to a comedian.
It's like you're transforming from a caterpillar to a butterfly. It's like different.
Right. I was just
we're still regular people, but
yeah, we have a power. Comedy is a superpower.
Yeah, you believe that?
I believe so. I mean, to be able to walk into a room and change the feeling and the vibe in the room by just talking, I think that's a superpower. That you can make people listen to you. You can like internally know, okay, they're gonna laugh right here, or I'm gonna make them groan. I'm gonna make them get quiet. I'm gonna make them listen. Like that's like to be able to control the room. I feel like that's a power.
Oh wow, yeah. That's cool.
Some people have athletic power. Some people super smart. Some people have. I feel like we all have talents, but I feel like comedy is just that thing that we tapped into, and that's the power that we honed it. It's almost like you conducting an orchestra on stage.
And the audience, the orchestra, you're like, oh, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that.
Quiet. I can, when you finish that sentence, they all gonna be on the edge of their seat, like, what's coming next? Like that's cool to me. So yeah, that's our powers.
And be like, hey, everyone in the room is gonna be silent and listen to this point I'm gonna make. Mm-hmm. It's an important thing I'm gonna say. Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna go into a joke. It's gonna make everyone surprised and laugh.
Man, that's our superpower.
Yeah. I say this a lot in the podcast, but I do believe that like comedy is a great way to create social change as well. Like I think it's probably one of the best ways to do it because people are not expecting, they're not getting talked down to. It's just like a natural pointing something out, and that's funny, and you're like, oh wait, I'm laughing about that because it's true. Like, what else is that saying? Yeah,
I feel like we're modern day philosophers. Like we have to make sense of the world. So when we go on stage, like people want to laugh, and I mean, I feel like we as we have a social responsibility. We got to make sense of the world, the things that's going on at all times, and we have to make it okay for us to laugh at it to get through it. So yeah, we have a responsibility as comedians. It's not all fart jokes and whatever.
No, I think that's important. It's important that you stress that we have a responsibility, because I don't think I've thought about it in that way. I've kind of thought, oh, it's cool that we can share a point of view and change people's minds about things, but I didn't think about like the social responsibility of it, and especially in the times that we're heading into now. And I agree. I completely agree. I think it's very important. I guess, like, for you, what kind of things do you like the best philosophizing about on stage?
Well, I feel like it's categories to, at least in my comedy, where it's like I talk about everyday things, everyday life experiences, things that we go through, but then you get into sex, religion, just different things. But it's all perspective. But I like when people walk off. When I walk off stage, I like people to be like, oh, I never looked at it like that. I never looked at this simple thing like that, or just I like it. I like trying to explain things on stage so that it's just kind of open up a window. It creates a window in your mind and be like, oh, let me look out this window in this different light. So, and
you might open somebody's mind up just a tad,
a tad bit. And I mean, I'm not even trying to get too deep. Like I'm not trying to change your mind. Like I like people like Bill Burr, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, and Louis C.K. where they can put things in a way where they're not telling you or they're not forcing you to look at things in a certain way, but they say this is how I look at it, and they kind of hold up a picture, and you say, oh man, I never, and you can appreciate it, and you could walk away from that show saying, well, it is another side to this coin, Yeah. So I can appreciate that, and I want my comedy to be that.
Yeah. Well, you just mentioned some real big greats. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's something to aspire to. But it's also, I just like perspective. Like, man, I can appreciate, like, you can sit, like, I would love to have a conversation with them outside of comedy. Like, I just want to know, like, yeah, like, I feel like life is philosophy. And, like, education, you can teach somebody something, you could tell somebody something, but how you approach life that's more important than learning. Mm-hmm. So you could be an uneducated person, but if you have a philosophy on how you do things and go about things, you can be very successful and live a fruitful life.
Yeah, I think that's great. Some of my favorite comedians, I feel like, are also philosophers. Like, even just in the scene, Azar and, and people like, Reggie Watts, who's like a philosopher. Like, I feel like he does everything, though. He's like philosopher, music, comedy. But, like, I think that those people are so fascinating because they are doing more with it, and they are trying to say something bigger without pounding over your head with it. It's Absolutely. Just like, hey, this is the way I see the world, and this is, just here's a glimpse into my mind.
And that's, I feel like it's easier that way. That's why I love the show. You watch Atlanta?
I've seen a couple episodes, but I haven't watched everything yet. I don't have Hulu, so, like, I had a friend that, like, logged in on my computer, and so, like, I watched it and then logged out, and I was like, damn it.
Yeah. See, Atlanta is one of those shows where they talk about a lot of different things, but it's not in your face. They don't beat you over the head with how to see things. It's just kind of like, they kind of just show you so you understand it. And I'm glad they won awards and that the show will eventually. I don't think it's coming back next year, but it's gonna be like
the next year.
Yeah, it's gonna be like next year, not this year.
So. And Donald Glover does that, right?
Yeah, Donald Glover like writes, and I think it's a lot of his brother or somebody involved in it in the production of it. But it's a cool show because it's like very, very subtle, and I feel like that's how I like things that way. Like don't tell me to look at it this way, or they don't force me. We don't have to debate about it. Just show me. And then I can make a fair assessment to say, okay, I understand. I'd rather understand something than be told to understand something.
I think that's the way most people, and that's why I feel like going back to the point, like comedy making, people change their minds a little bit more because you're not being told. You're like, hey, this is something funny. You laugh at it, and then you think about it, and then like later at home, you're like, wait, that's a really good point.
Yeah, and laughter. It's like teaspoon of sugar. Like, oh, it's gonna be hard, but the sugar it's gonna make it taste good.
Yeah. And then how did you get into acting? Did you like act at all growing up, or?
No, I didn't act. I did like stage plays in college, but I wasn't a theater major. It was just like the same guy that asked me to do the to do some stand up. He would write plays and like just cast like friends and people that he knew, and we like. So it was never serious acting. And then over the years of doing comedy, I got an agent and a manager, commercial agent, so they send you out on auditions. So I was bad, and I think I've gotten better over the last year.
Well, you've gotten some stuff. Yeah. So you did like Shameless and some stuff, right?
Yeah. So I landed some roles, but I feel like the roles weren't far from
who you are.
Yeah, so I was really playing myself within the character. So, and I'm playing a thug. I played a pimp. I played a thug again. So it's like I'm not that I'm a thug, but it's like I don't have to really stretch. You see what I'm saying? I'm not stretching myself to be like I really got to get into this role. It's just kind of like play the things and play real to the people or the experiences that you had.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's what a lot of acting is. It's like even if you're playing an outside role, it's like you look back into your experiences that you can relate to, and you bring that into the character, even if it's different from yourself. It's like, oh, this thing happened to me, and I can relate in this way because this is how I felt. So that's like part of it, anyways. And a lot of comedians play themselves. Like Hannibal even has a joke that he every role he plays, it's himself, right?
Yeah. I just saw him in was it Stepdads with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
Oh yeah, something like that.
I want to say it was Stepdads, but I saw Hannibal. It was like, oh, that's Hannibal. Like it's just him being him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can corner that market, I mean, like, if it's, like, honestly, if you were going to audition for a role and it described Calvin Evans to a T, if you didn't get that role, wouldn't you feel weird?
I feel like I've had some of those auditions. Like,
are you serious?
Like, I just auditioned for something. It's like it's a new show. Usually when you audition for shows that aren't on air yet, it's like the title isn't what it's going to be. Mm-hmm. But it was like this dude. Well, I wouldn't say it was me, but he was like a sneakerhead. He was like running for office, like he was running for the mayor of some city, and he was just kind of like living at home, and it wasn't me, but it was like aspects of my life where it's like he like rapped. I'm not a rapper, but I love music. I love music, so it's just like one of those things. Where it's like this would be a great role for me. So it's like I can be myself. Like the guy was like just cool. He like was like a people person. Like he loved, like he was into fashion and stuff like that. So it was like. Same age range and everything. It's like, man, I would love to have this role, but it's like I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you always gotta think that just in case. But wait, go back to the sneakerhead thing because I've had this conversation with you before. Yeah. You have a shoe thing, right? A shoe. I wouldn't call it a shoe thing. What would you call it? A shoe collection?
Because a shoe thing make it seem like it's more like
a sexual fetish or something. I don't mean a sexual fetish. I just mean like.
No, I got you.
You have a shoe collection? Is that a better word?
I just have a lot. I'm just a dude with a lot of shoes.
You have more shoes than any man I've ever met, I think.
Man, you don't. How many people you know?
I know a lot of people. I don't know any guy that has over 200 pairs of shoes.
Well, see, I have more shoes than the average person, and I just really
And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm gonna say if you love shoes.
I'm not ashamed. I just love. I mean, since a young age, I didn't have a lot of shoes growing up, and I don't think that I'm compensating for not having a lot of shoes growing up. But I think it was just one of those things where it's like, I knew at a young age like I liked shoes. Like I would like the East Bay magazines. I get the East Bay magazines, like all the shoes that were coming out, different sports, basketball, casual shoes, and most kids that I knew, you got the magazine, you go through and you're like, oh man, it's a cool shoe, this is a cool shoe. But shoes have always been one of those things, like when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's right. Like I gotta have that. And like over the years, like, going to college, so I think the last, maybe since when I moved back to Chicago, so I had a number of shoes throughout college, but it was kind of like, okay, I beat them up and I throw them out or get rid of them. But then when I came back to Chicago, that's when I really kind of started, I guess you could say, curating shoes, where it was just like, all right, I'm going to have these shoes for a long time. Mm-hmm. And then.
So you just like wear like what? Like what? You're like, hey, you wear a different pair of shoes every day of the week?
Not well, like the shoes, like when I go to the gym, I got my shoes that I run around in. But when I hit the stage, it's like when I'm performing, it's like those, I'm performing. So most of the shoes I have, I wear on stage. And then that night, so it's probably like a 3-hour span.
Oh, you only wear it for 3 hours?
Not only, but like for the most part, like so let's say I have a show at 8 and I get in at 11, 12 o'clock sometime, and then they go back in the box and yeah, that's it. So
you keep them in a box and you keep them like pristine.
I keep them in the box that I buy them in, yeah. I mean, that's how they store it when you go to the store, so it's a lot more, it makes sense because all boxes are pretty much the same size, so I can stack the boxes up versus trying to have, you got a bunch, you got 2 shoes like out, it's just a bunch. Yeah. So
also like, so do you tend to wear like more plain like jeans and a t-shirt just so that the focus can be on the shoes? Because I know when I've got accessories, if I got a nice necklace I want to show off, mm-hmm. I wear kind of more of a plain shirt so the focus is on the necklace.
Well, I don't really care about clothes that much.
Yeah.
I love shopping for clothes, but I don't go and I don't necessarily, I try to match. So I try to, it just got to make sense clothes wise, like color wise. So I keep it plain Jane on the clothes. So when I shop for clothes, it's like I can wear this for the next 5 years. So I don't do a lot of logos and stuff.
Wow,
like that.
you're just honest with yourself. You're like, I'm gonna wear this for 5 years. Because a lot of people will buy something and not think about it, and then just like still be wearing it 5 years later. But you actually consciously are like, hey, this is something I'm gonna buy 3 of these because in different colors because I'm gonna wear this for 5 years.
a lot of my closet is a lot of the same iterations of the same thing. So like white shirts, black shirts, blue pants, black pants. It's just like a bunch. I have a lot of clothes, and I actually got to start giving stuff away. Like I'm got to go through before the summer and just get rid of a lot of stuff. But Yeah, like I know, like my stuff is like, I don't buy like right now clothes. Like like you remember like Von Dutch, like when stuff was like hot Von Dutch or True Religion or just fat. I don't care nothing about that.
I don't like that stuff either. Like I'm not too big on like labels or designer, that kind of stuff.
I think I do care about, not necessarily care about, but I do put value into like my dress clothes. So like suits, shirts, ties, and stuff like that. I do like Ralph Lauren and.
Oh yeah. You like to dress it up.
I like when I dress up. I like it to be.
Where do you dress up once in a while to go out, or just like for events?
Like events. So like if I'm like working with like Second City, so we gotta be like show where it is, like shirt, tie.
Are you on a show with them right now?
Well, I work with Bizco.
Oh yeah.
So we do like a lot of like corporate improv trainings and like a lot of sketch shows. So I just did 2 weeks ago I was in Virginia for like a few days, and we were working with the Major League Baseball.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so we got to do sketch stuff for all the incoming rookies into the MLB.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Was there anybody that you met that you were excited about, or do you pay attention to that shit?
I don't even pay attention to baseball. Yeah. So I may have, like a lot of guys were cool, like they liked the comedy and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it was cool, like meeting them, and we got to take a picture with like all the rookies, like they had like a big, basically like a class picture. But I don't know baseball well enough where it was like, oh man, this guy's gonna be a superstar, or he was a stud in college. So I don't know. So it was weird because like a lot of those guys they look like 16, 17 years old. Some of them out of high school.
Oh man, it make you feel old?
No, not at all. I mean, but it was just like, you about to make a lot of money and you're
a kid.
Yeah, you like 18, 19. Like they look like kids, and it was just like, man, you about to make a lot of money.
Do you know how much money they make?
I don't.
So growing up on the north side, were you a Cubs fan then?
Didn't care about baseball. In the 90s, it was basketball. Like for me, at least, it was like all
the Bulls.
Because the Bulls, like they own the 90s. So it was like, I love basketball. I play basketball.
Bulls games are exciting. Like I come from Louisville, so we've got big on college basketball. Mm-hmm. Like that's a big deal for us. Last year was a little sad because I didn't get to be part of the champion, which is really upsetting. So
y'all had the dude one year that broke his leg.
Oh no, yeah. Oh my god, my brother was at that game.
Oh, that was the worst. I've never seen.
That was awful. Like my brother was in Indianapolis at that game, but they still ended up winning the championship that year.
Yeah, man. Like leg popped out. I've seen like bad like breaks, but like the way he came down and it just like a.
Well, like apparently like everyone like was just, there was this silence like in the whole state. Like everyone was just like, oh my god, like what just happened?
That bone just popped right out.
I could just like see it. It was where, that was just. But the fact that they ended up coming back and winning it, that was cool. So like I always grew up with U of L basketball because we didn't have a pro team, you know. But then I remember going to a Bulls game for the first time, and I was like, holy shit!
What year did you your first Bulls game?
It was, I want to say 2011, 2012.
But that was good. That's what
actually, it was the last game of the regular season when they were about to go to the playoffs. Like, because Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were in the front row. So I was like, I got lucky because one of my friends was nannying for a rich family at the time, and just for fun, they're like, here's some Bulls. They were 11th row.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And it was such a close game, but the Bulls ended up winning. And I'm not usually that into sports, but when I'm like watching a game live like that, I was like, what I like about basketball is it's exciting. There's not a bunch of stops. It's like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is happening. Even on the breaks, there's like, you got people cheering, you got dancers, you got flippers, you got people doing everything. Like the energy is just insane. Versus like a football game where it's cold outside and they stop every 3 seconds. And it's like, so that's what I like about basketball. It's like back and forth, back and forth. It's like nonstop energy, which is really fun.
That's why I never got into football. It was just too slow for me.
Yeah. It's like, for me, I just fall asleep, I just like, and also I don't like being cold. I don't like being cold. Like, I will be in a bad mood if I'm cold or if I'm hungry. That's when I get bitchy. And it's like, like football, I'm just outside, I'm cold. I've been to a football game that I enjoyed, but it was in Florida. It was 75 degrees out. So I was like, all right.
Football is like, with football, it can be exciting, like when something happens. Like it's like you never know when it's gonna happen. So it's like real, like calm. Then a run or a pass.
But then it stops after the excitement. Like basketball, like you could see that, oh, that happens. Oh, wait, now they're on the other side of the court. And but I thought that, the game I went to happened to be a really great game. I can't remember who they were against, but it was the last game of their regular season before they went into playoffs. Okay. And so it was back, And it was like, and Rose was still there. It
was a good time. Yeah.
It was a good time to see them. It was an exciting game. And, I want to go. I think I would like to maybe go with my dad to a game, but they don't like to visit me when it's between November and March because it's too cold.
Oh, okay. Now, what's the weather like in Louisville?
It's warmer. It's
just year round is always warm.
No, it's not year round warm. It snows a little bit, but it's not that cold. I mean, the other day, well, yesterday was weird because it was warm here too. It was 60 degrees. Mom's like, yeah, it's 75 here. So it's it's a bit warmer, but so. I don't know, but, it's like the South. It's different. I mean, it's not the South, but ish. Cool. You also do DJing for fun, right? Or you just have a love of music?
I go to the thrift store a lot. I like going to thrift stores and just finding, randomly cool stuff. And I found they got a big donation from Guitar Center, so I found this DJ controller that connects to an iPad. So I slide my iPad in there and I pull, and I was just I wanted it. I was like, man, it's cool, and I bought it, and it was just I fell in love with it, and it was just I want to be. Anything that I do, I think comedy and basketball. There's two things that I put a lot of time into. So I can say that I'm a good basketball player, and I'm a good comedian because I put a lot of time and effort and focus into it. Mm-hmm. So it's certain things that. Whether it's videography, DJing, fixing cars, I wouldn't call myself a mechanic, a DJ, or a videographer because it's I know how to do these things, but I haven't put a ton of time into it to really call myself that. So to DJing, it's something I enjoy doing, but I wouldn't call myself a DJ. So if you ask me, hey, you want to play some music? I would love to. Do I want to get hired to DJ a function? Hey, come DJ my wedding?
No, not so much.
Not so much. No, because I feel I still have a lot of time and skills and stuff that I need to do before I can say, yeah, I can do that. And I think a lot of people shoot themselves in the foot when they take on titles too soon. Mm-hmm. So if I'm a new comic, hey, you want to come headline the show? Yeah, I'll come headline the show, and then you up there for 40 minutes just bombing because you only had a strong 5 minutes or you got a good 5 minutes, and it's just you weren't ready for that. So I think DJing is something that I enjoy doing, but something that I am not. A DJ is something I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. You think you could be, or you want to?
I feel like I have times. Sometimes I'll be DJing and it just be everything is right. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes I'm DJing, I'm just man, I couldn't catch it. So I think it has to be one of those things where it's every time I DJ, I have to know
what you're doing. Yeah. Who are you into right now? Listening music wise.
Music wise, I think I listened to J. Cole album last, and I haven't been DJing because I've been so busy. So usually when I'm going through music, I find all the new stuff. So right now I'm not into anybody right now. Yeah. Just kind of cycling through
your old stuff?
Well, that, and I'm listening to a lot of Spotify music mixes. Mm-hmm. So whatever comes through. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I like that's what I like about Spotify. You can kind of listen to whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they kind of, because of the music I listen to in my play, the stuff that I the albums that I go through and listen to, Spotify will create my mix list. So they give me 3 radio stations based on the type of music I listen to. And they're
always pretty good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's dope. I like that. And what about you? I always near the end of the podcast, you start talking about relationships. Are you single? Are you taken? What's your situation?
That's a good question.
Are you in between?
Look at my hands when I do this on camera. Let's just talk about relationship stuff.
Okay. We don't have to go into your personal stuff.
We don't have to get into specifics.
Let's talk about your philosophies on relationships then, Miss Philosopher. What do you... I feel like there's a lot of people now that are talking more about the non-monogamy and the open relationship stuff, and I feel like that's coming around a lot more. And I wonder if that's because we're at least admitting to us that to ourselves that we're not supposed to be monogamous, or if it's just a trend. You know?
So why do you? Let me ask. Why do you think we're not supposed to be monogamous?
I'm not saying we're not supposed to. I just feel like overall, 50% of people tend to like cheat on their significant others, anyways. Mm-hmm. So technically, that's not being monogamous, even if the other just one person doesn't know about it. You know,
right?
If you think about it that way, right?
Yeah, I got you.
So in my mind, it's like, we already haven't been monogamous. We've proven that doesn't work for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And now some people are being like, okay, well, let's have an open thing and be honest about it instead of lying and going behind your back.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or it's just a trend where people are like, oh, this is like the hot thing right now, and we're going to...
I don't think, what would be the opposite of monogamy?
Polygamy?
Well, polygamy is kind of like polyamorous, right? So you just kind of enjoy just being. And I think now in this time that we in, when you got the Tinders and the dating apps and stuff like that, I said the Tinders like an old man. We got the Tinders, but when with like Tinder apps, which is just like people just hooking up and just kind of being open and just being socially acceptable that these things exist. And it's not like some like back page like, oh, I'm gonna go sneak off, I'm going Craigslist and try to find. It's kind of like, hey, look, people are just having fun and people are just being more open now. And I think we just in a time now where the world that used to be so big with social media and now is shrunk down. So before cell phones and social media, it's kind of like if I'm gonna cheat on you, it has to be within the realm of things that I do. If I'm if I go to nightclubs, if I go to work, it's going to be somebody in this, like the idea of the world is like, I would never try to talk to somebody in Wichita or New York, because I would have to bump into that person or those persons in this realm of the world that like I met this person in Chicago this one time at this club that I go to. And that's like, it has to be a series of events that leads me to like, oh, New York. But now, because it's just like, I'm on Facebook. Hey, I met somebody that was in New York. Now we friends on Facebook. Now we communicate on a regular basis back and forth. Now the world is I have access. Oh, I know somebody. So it's like the idea that, oh man, there's nobody out there like you. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I go to work. I may go to a nightclub. I may go to the bar. But now it's just like I can just hit explore on Instagram and like, oh shit. That this person exists, these people are out, and it's just like you do this for an hour a day, and it's like it's a lot of people in the world that's not that far away, or just that. But the idea that this person or these people exist is kind of like I feel like I'm missing out on something.
Well, it's like it makes it accessible, but it's also the shopping cart mentality. It's like, oh, you buy this thing. Like, let's say you bought your DJ equipment, right? Mm-hmm. And then the next day you see something brand new that's even better. And you're like, shit, should I return this DJ equipment or should I buy this new thing? Or like, what, how do I know it's really better? It's that idea that just because there are more choices doesn't mean that we don't have something already that's good.
No, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. And I think the give and take, or the plus and the minus for relationships, is that the plus is that you have somebody that you trust, you love, and that they're there for you. Like they're there, like physically, emotionally, like they're constantly present. And then the same thing, that fear of missing out is when you pick your phone up. It's like, I'm here with this person, but it's like, damn, like how? And the crazy thing is just that. Like the shopping cart mentality is that then I could have that when you probably couldn't have that.
That's the problem. It's like you think that you could have that, and that's like the fantasy. But it's like if you were actually talking to that person, would they talk to you back, or like would it work out?
Or if you were talking to that person, and the thing is like, how long can you do that before it's just like, what am I doing? Like, because it's like, as much as the people hooking up, people just kind of being free open. It's just like as human beings, we still want something tangible that we can hold on to and be like, that's mine. It's just like, I can go, if I can rent unlimited cars, and I'm just driving all these cars, eventually it's going to be like, man, I really like that car. I really like that car, and I'm just going to keep renting this car. I'm going to try to get, so it's just like, we like variety, but we still want something that you still want something to call your own, something that you can. So it's like it's a catch-22. I joke, I say this joke on stage where I say I feel like people shouldn't get married till they're 50 years old. Like go out, do everything you know, have fun and enjoy it. When you hit 50, delete your Facebook, all your social media, find somebody and just go be happy. Like just because
settle down.
Because I feel like nowadays it's just like that. And I'm not saying this is general across the board for everybody, but for the most part, it's just like, man, we just live in a world where it's so much. It's always something going on when you log on to social media. Yeah, and it's just like I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that. I want to be.
It's an addiction.
Yeah. So I can't blame social media on polyamory, whatever word I'm trying to say. But I feel like it contributes to the idea that let's not settle. I don't want to settle down just yet. I just want to be free.
Well, it's also people like not having kids later or just choosing not to have kids. I know so many people that are just like, oh no, I'm good with my life. I don't need to have kids. I know lots of people that are that. And I think a lot of reasons that people got married and got together early is because, oh, you want to have a family and this is but because we have so many other goals outside of that now, it also creates that freedom. It's like, oh no, I want to see the world or I want to, do this and that.
And I think people aren't as career oriented. Like get it. I think people are more so spending those career, the time that you spent. Like I'm going to graduate from college, get a job, start a career, you get a family, and you have this tradition, the traditional thing.
Path.
Yeah, right. The people do. But now I feel like people are more so like, you know what? If I have kids, I'm not going to be able to figure out find that thing that it is that I want. And that enlightenment, that thing that makes me happy in life. So I'm in that place right now where it's just like I do want kids, but it's just like I feel like I still have so much more time to go in comedy and this in entertainment. It's just like it's not that it would be dead weight, but it would just be like that shift of focus would be so great because
that's the same thing with me. It's like I think I genuinely do want kids someday, but it's like you got to have the right situation and the right thing, and it's like I don't know. I don't want to worry about time and all that shit. I think I might just freeze my eggs and be like, all right, I'll deal with it later. Like,
well, you can just freeze eggs? I didn't know you could freeze eggs.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an easy process. It's not cheap, but like you can. So like what you can do is you could freeze your eggs because I'm still like young, so my eggs are still good and all that. I think they're good for like 10 years or something, and like you keep them in storage. And I could even just have somebody else have the baby for me. I don't even have to be pregnant.
So you got your eggs in a U-Haul storage? Ice. They just on ice, chilling.
Yeah, I know. You could totally do that. I mean, that's how some people have babies. Like what's her name from Julia and Bill Rancic, like they had babies via gestational surrogate, which means that it was her eggs and his sperm, but just somebody else carried it.
Oh, nice.
Which is probably what I would do, just because all the drugs I'm on for narcolepsy, it's not good. It's not good for me to do that, so I'd probably just do that anyways. So like for me, it's like, oh, if I do that, then that gives me time, and I don't have to be stressed about the biological clock or all that bullshit.
No, I got you. That's cool. And
like Janet Jackson's fucking pregnant right now. Like,
and you don't even have to carry the baby. It's real hands off. It's just like
yeah, I know. I don't know. Like that's a weird thing. Because I've been thinking about this. Like if I was pregnant, like I mean, like if I went in labor, I could be falling asleep while I'm in labor, which is probably not healthy. Like if you think about it physically, like what if I'm in labor supposed to be pushed out and like. I have some things that trigger me, like if I'm really surprised or shocked or feel really emotional, I can like fall asleep, fall to the ground.
Wow.
So like if I was pregnant, even if I was like 7 or 8 months pregnant, if I had a cataplexy and fell to the ground, that could cause real big issues. Yeah. So like there's a lot of safety concerns about that. So like I think I want to have kids. I just might have to do it a different way. Yeah. Who knows? But the nice thing is we live in a world where you can do that now, which is crazy. But yeah, it's wild, but I don't want, like, the next 10 years are mine. I don't think that's, I'm like, hey, the next 10 years are mine. I'm not going to have.
Now, how old are you?
26.
26. Oh, man, you got 10 years.
Yeah.
You got 10 years.
I mean,
these next 10 years are mine.
They're mine.
You just got a contract. You like it? We're gonna just let you know this next 10 years are mine.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Like, I think when you're in love, And that's the other thing I want to circle back to about the non-monogamy, right? Thing is, like, I was in a relationship for a while and that didn't work out, but like when I was in love, I don't know if I could imagine myself being non-monogamous with that person. But like when you're like, you know, just having fun and it's like low key and like you're just enjoying your company and you're not to that point where you're like deep feeling for them, I think it's easier for people to be non-monogamous. But once you get to that point where you're like, oh, I love this person,
no, absolutely, yeah.
I think that's the point where it's like, oh shit, no, I don't want you with other people, I don't want to be with other people, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's the thing I think kind of helps define it. But again, I feel like sometimes we're just so afraid of the rejection we don't allow ourselves to get close to people. At least that's what I do.
I got you. Nah, that makes sense.
Like, I've had a hookup buddy. I've been hooking up with him for like a year. Like, that's a long time for a hookup, you know? Like, it's like, that's a long time, right? Like, that's...
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the frequency.
Like every other week.
Okay, yeah.
That's a while, right?
It's a long time. It's consistent.
Yeah.
It's like you got a prepaid. It's like a prepaid phone. Like, yeah, I got this prepaid phone. I've been keeping up with it.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. It's an interesting thing. It's like I'm like, like I haven't, like, this is a long relationship right now. It feels like it, but like we're not in a thing, and I'm cool with that. Like, I don't need that. Like,
and I think that's the future. That's the wave. That's the wave. It's like Uber. It's like Uber. Like you use it. Do you use Uber? Mm-hmm. You use Uber consistently, and it's a good thing. You know, it's not overly committed, but you depend on it. It comes through when you need it, and it just works. So it's just like that's the thing that's what we've transitioned into.
Do you think it's going to be a good thing overall in the future, in the bad? Like, my only thing is, like, if you do have kids, like, and they still want to be nominated, like, that's a weird thing too.
Times are changing. Like, you know, like, you see a lot of, like, transgender homosexuality is just more widely accepted. It's just accepted in society now. So like this conversation 10 years ago, in terms of like gay people being married, it's just like, what? No, that'll never happen. Or you like the idea. So I'm saying, so now we're talking about something that 10 years, even 5 years from now, it just may be like marriage is just like,
or it's like a throuple. You could get 3 people could get married. You know? Have you heard of throuples?
I've never heard of throuples.
Oh my god, throuples are like, they're 3 people that are all just in a close relationship with each other. Mm-hmm. So it could be like a guy and 2 girls, or a girl and 2 guys, or whatever, and they all like have a relationship. It's not just hooking up. It's like, hey, like we all cook dinner, we go on dates together, or maybe I have a date night with this person, I have a date night with this person, and then we all end up in bed together, or sometimes it's just me and this person and this. So it's like they're all allowed to hook up with each other as much as they want, but they don't go outside that relationship. So it's like 3 people.
A throuple.
That seems like almost too much to keep up. Like, I feel like it's hard enough to make one person happy. If you have 2 other people to make happy, it's like,
Right.
But yeah, that's like a real thing. I think some people have tried to make a throuple work. Mm-hmm. Actually, in Shameless, I don't know if you watched that, but like they have a throuple later on.
Which is this current season?
Yeah, this last season. Spoilers. Yeah, Kevin and what's his name? What the people?
Right, yeah. The couple that lived next door, and they had the other chick. She moved.
Yeah. So they have a throuple. That's
and they got
throuple.
married. She got married
to the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have like a throuple. So like, I don't know. Maybe it being on TV makes it more.
So no, I mean, and that's it's just like, I feel like the things that was set in stone for all these years is kind of like. They kind of like breaking them up, and it's just like, we just gonna pave some new.
We're gonna do whatever we want.
Yeah, we gotta. Times changing.
We got sex robots and crazy things. Like
anything is possible.
Yeah.
I feel like I do feel like that. The lines aren't necessarily being blurred; they're just being redefined.
Okay.
So it's like we just gonna put this. We just gonna move it over a little bit over here. Yeah. We're gonna widen the spectrum of things. So. Yeah.
Well, and if you think about it, there are just other things that have like come up in other societies, like the Greeks, like the homosexuality was pretty normal back then, and somehow it got like hidden, and like now it's come back, and it's like one of those.
Well, I don't think it went away.
I don't think it went away. It just for some reason society seemed to make it seem like it wasn't acceptable when it totally should have been, But that's like with everything. I knew that was going to get legalized, that wasn't a surprise. I knew it eventually. I didn't know which was going to come first, weed or homosexuality, to be honest. Yeah. But, I mean, weed's on its way. It's on its way.
Well, I mean, it's legal in certain states. But.
Yeah, like in LA, like now, I know it's like, you can't, like, you can buy it at medical places, but you can't, like, buy it on the street legally yet. But, like, you can, like, be smoking it or, eating it or whatever. Like, they can't arrest you for being outside smoking a joint.
Eating it. Like, that's like...
Well, edibles. I mean...
No, I know edibles, but it's just like the idea, like, oh, well, you can't stop me from eating drugs. Smoking drugs is illegal, but eating it...
That's probably a loophole somewhere.
Yeah. Like, there's gotta be, like,
Yeah, I think that definitely should be legal. So hopefully things will keep progressing in that way.
Yeah.
Because I think that's fun to do. Just chill out and have fun with.
Thruples.
Well, wait, all right, so 10-year predictions. 10 years from now, what's going to be the new thing that's going to be passing through on relationships?
Marriage is going to be outlawed. Marriage is going to be outlawed, and you just going to be able to sell the rights to your, you're going to be able to sell the rights to your heart, to your love.
Oh.
Yeah, you could lease the rights. You can lease to own. Like, give me the rights to my love back. Come on.
Oh, like the car, right?
Yeah. Like people do. Like,
when you break up, you got to give the heart back.
Yeah, you got to give me the. Come on. You just sign contracts.
Damn.
No more. That's it. No more marriage. Just contracts. Life contracts.
Oh.
So legally, y'all have a contract binding y'all. So y'all got the insurance and the home. And y'all can. But when it's up, you like, do we renew? Are we gonna renew this?
It's like every 5 years. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Like every 5 years, because you could just be like mutually, hey, like, is this still working?
Is this still working? Because I feel like marriage is like, in that way, is more mutual if things not working. Because when you're in a divorce, it's just like, I'm leaving you, I'm getting out of here, I want half your shit. But if we both sign a mutual contract that it's stated in the contract, at some point, if things not working out, we both walk away. You walk away with what you came with.
That's interesting. That's like a job or partnership or something where it's like you get a review, right? You get like a 1 year review, like see where you're at, like where you're lining up in terms of where the company's goals are.
You're not cooking like you used to, and you falling off in this department. And
yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting idea. You could write a book on that. Calvin Evans and the future of love contracts.
Love contracts.
I like that. That's fun. Well, as we're winding down the podcast, I always ask everybody, what are your dreams for the future?
My dreams for the future? Like my sleep dreams?
Well,
I'm messing with you.
Yeah.
Well, I really want to maximize I want to maximize everything that can be done in Chicago. Before I go anywhere else, New York, LA, wherever, I want to maximize everything. I want to maximize my potential in Chicago. I want to act. I want to write. Stand up, music, whatever it is that I can do in Chicago. I want to say that I did it all before I left. So when my skill set when I go somewhere else is gonna be so immense that my name precedes myself. So that's my goal. So I can't say I definitely want to act more serious roles. I don't mind comedy, but I respect acting. And while I have had some acting roles, I can't say that I'm 100%. I'm not 100% that act, and I haven't because I know people that act and they theater and stuff like that. So I definitely want to really hone acting, more serious acting roles, and just stand up. And hopefully, I have a TV show. Calvin. That'll just be the name of the show, Calvin.
I like that. What would the TV show concept be?
I don't know yet. That's what I got to work on the concept of it, and that's I mean, most shows when it comes to comedians is just loosely based on their life, but I don't know what aspect of my life I would want to highlight in a show like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could just be a cartoon with a bunch of shoes talking to each other.
Well, it
Like
definitely
Toy Story.
shoes are definitely gonna be involved.
Yeah.
Shoes are definitely gonna be out. Every episode is gonna be about a new pair. It's gonna be a new pair of shoes.
New pair of shoes.
So I want a 26 episode season.
Just so you can have the budget so you can buy yourself all those shoes. This is what it is. It's a ruse to get you guys to get you the biggest shoe budget you could ever have.
But I don't even want the budget. Just give me the sneaker contract.
Ah.
So just give me a Nike contract.
Wait, no, but what would happen if you ended up getting a contract but you weren't allowed to wear other shoes?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, you will sell out?
I'm not selling out. 90% of my shoes are Nike. Well, Jordan. So Jordan, the Jordan
is a
brand
division of Nike.
Division Nike. So if you give me Nike, I'm good. That's 90% of my shoes. Like I'm just starting this year to get into Adidas. I think I probably got like 8 pair of Adidas shoes.
Out of the 200?
Yeah, probably like maybe 10. 2, 4, 6, 10. I probably got like 10 pair of Adidas, and I really like the newer shoes that they're coming out with. But if I can get a Nike contract, that would be a dream.
That's awesome. I like Nike because it's the Greek god of victory.
Mm-hmm.
So I like their brand of that and the check mark and stuff.
That's funny because that's what I wrote on the pillow.
Yeah, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh wow! I have my guest sign a pillow, and you wrote a Nike symbol, or
Nike say Calvin, and they got like the way Nike is written. Mm-hmm. Then it's a swoosh under my name, and then they say we just did it.
Oh, I like that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's already in the universe.
It is. It's out there. I believe if you put an idea out in the universe, and sometimes maybe it'll happen. You know.
$1 million in my bank account.
A TV show. Just a job in a writer's room. That's fine.
No, I'm just untaxed $1 million. No strings attached. Just $1 million in my bank account. Mm-hmm. Like real soon though.
Like tomorrow. I like that, man. Thanks so much for doing the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
This was cool.
We always end by saying good night. So good night, everybody.
Good night. I gotta go to sleep. Mm-hmm. This is a comfortable bed.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Thanks for listening to Sleeping with Sarah, where I slept with Calvin Evans. You can follow Calvin on Twitter at Calvin M. Evans and go to his website, calvinevanscomedy.com. This podcast is part of the Laugh Factory Podcast Network. Please remember to subscribe and rate and review on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and SoundCloud. This podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Go to audibletrial.com/sleepingwithsarah. I'm releasing a new podcast each week. Be sure to tune in to find out who I have in bed with me next. Thanks to Josh Bryan for the music. You can view more on sleepingwithsarah.com, and please follow me on Twitter at Sarah Albritton. Until next time, good night.
Sleeping with Sarah.